I spoke about the buffalo because this way of fighting a battle comes from Europe. Europeans fought this kind of battles everywhere in the world. You must see some of the travelers who traveled in India, like more than a millennia ago, some Italian travelers, some Chinese travelers. One thing they noted was, two nations were in battle, they were fighting a war. In India, they fought war like this. The armies will assemble on a field, they will camp there with their food and everything, and on an appointed day, they'll start fighting each other. Exactly at sundown, the battle closes. They will attend to each other's wounded, and next day morning again they'll fight. So these people, the travelers noted, when full raging battle was happening in the country, the farmers were still tilling the land. Everything, trade, agriculture, everything was going on, only soldiers fighting the battle. Never others were attacked. But it's only after external invasions came, the first thing they did was burn your food. This method of doing things comes from a certain region which they carried out here, even during the Civil War. Though the same people, all right, they burned the food first. Burning of the crops and granaries has always been the first tactic, because once you're hungry, you will crawl, you will not fight. So, killing of the buffalo was in that context. And how many people died without food? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. How many scalps you collected? Maybe there is some account somewhere. That some terrible accounting system must be there, all right? But how many people died of hunger? That'll never be counted. During World War II, when the rest of the world was focused on what was happening to the Jewish community in Europe, what happened in India was a whole region, which was very rice-growing region, the British army came and took away all the food, burned the boats and the bicycles and the bullock carts so that they cannot go out. They cut the telegraph wires so that they cannot inform the rest of the country what's happened. 3.65 million people died in 4 months of starvation. Okay? In 4 years, I think some 6 million Jews were something killed in Europe, but 3.65 million Indian people starved to death in a matter of 4 months.
My next question is something that you spoke a bit about, which is a big life's passion and work for me. I work a lot with sex offenders and people who have survived child sex trafficking. And you mentioned pornography, and almost 80% of women in pornography have been trafficked into pornography, and it's one of the highest paid industries in the world, one of the wealthiest industries in the world. And so, what is your personal and perhaps global opinion on pornography as maybe its own entity, and also how do we take these wounds and actually create a healthy, fun, creative connection with each other that brings ecstasy rather than pain and warfare, I guess? So 2 kind of questions, one on pornography and one with sex. If you don't mind, if it's appropriate. I don't know if you've ever been asked that, but I'd appreciate it.
I don't mind anything which is life. See, while we are here today, you and me are sitting here, because somebody had a sexual drive. Hello? Otherwise, you wouldn't exist, I wouldn't exist, all right? Having said that, the drive is there, but being human beings, we want to conduct it in a certain aesthetic, with a certain dignity, certain aesthetics, because anything we do, we like to do it aesthetically, isn't it? This is human nature. Well, I cannot say this about dogs anymore because I may get arrested in United States for that, but let's say an animal, wherever he finds food, he'll grab it. We would also do that if we lived in nature and we were struggling for survival. Wherever we found food, we would eat. But once our survival is taken care of, we present it nicely, we serve it nicely, we eat it in a delicate way. Hello? Because our pleasure of eating the food is more in the aesthetics than the food itself actually. That is the way a human being is made, isn't it? Yes or no? So the same thing extends to all the basic necessities that we have for survival. First and foremost thing is the food. Then we need a place to hide. We could have just borrowed a hole and lived in this garden. But we built a nice house. It became too nicer, too nice it became, that's a different matter. But we want to live in a aesthetic atmosphere. Next thing is sexuality, because that's connected to the reproduction and the making of the next generation and all these things. Well, it is also an important tool for two people to bond in some way. It is not that that's the only way to bond, unfortunately, it's become like this in today's world. If you say a relationship, immediately people think you must have some body-based relationship. Right now, I'm sitting here answering your question. I have a relationship with you, but I can't say this in this country. If I say I have a relationship, they think I have something to do with your body. A very unfortunate and limited way of having relationships.